we are working through some of the tech stuff here.
And then you're good to go. All right. And then your period changes over here.
Yep. Chase Newcomer is taking it to a new level with some gear that he's bought for our broadcast. I guess we really use this in a few other applications as well. Yeah. Well, so Chase is on the camera today, freeing up Matt and I to, chat a little bit more as we get set to go here in Game 3. Now, because these are the only two teams in this tournament, the way things worked out, it turned into a best of 3. And with 2 wins already, the Junior Mavericks have won this. The hope is that things are pretty low-key today, no matter what the end result of the game. I talked to the coaches, and they said they don't want a trophy presentation or any of that stuff. This is, look at it as, basically 3 friendlies, and we'll call it good.
That's appropriate for the weekend.
Yeah,
for sure.
I would agree.
Yeah, hopefully, sounds like each of the coaches from either team have talked as well, and hopefully they each talked to their boys afterwards, because it ended a little more aggressively than I think anybody would have wanted in Game 2, and we saw that coming.
Yeah.
There's some big and there's some competitive players on both teams.
Yeah.
So when you face off against the same teenager 3 times in a row, you end up, stuff happens, and then you get under each other's skin, and once it almost becomes like a sibling bickering where it can get carried away at some point in time. So
yeah,
that's kind of what we saw at the end of Game 2, and we're hoping that got reeled in a little bit to allow for a nice third game friendly to occur.
And if you're an opponent of the St. Peter's team, you can understand why you might get a little tired of seeing them after a while. They play a hard game. They like to hit. In some cases, they like to hit more than they like to shoot and score goals.
Even their smaller players, for Pete's sake, they're just a good physical playing team. They're a good matchup for the OMA Jr.
Yeah, these games have not been easy. Obviously, they haven't been blowouts by any stretch of the imagination. Yesterday's night game was quite interesting in that the Junior Mavericks scored all 3 of their goals short-handed. And I told my son on the way home, I said, you know what, I don't think, in all the hockey games that I've watched in my lifetime, I don't think I've ever seen a game where all the goals were short-handed.
Yeah,
so
that's pretty impressive, especially with this team.
Yes, indeed. So you watch hockey enough and you're going to see just about everything.
Is there any adjustments?
Real bad as far as being too quiet, or
yeah. Dad, are we quiet, or text me back and let me know, Keithy, if we're just not coming through clear, or if it's crackling, or what? Is it a quality thing, or is it a volume thing?
See if we can find out and maybe get that all squared away here.
Troubleshooting some new gear here today, so apologize. Hopefully we're strong Wi-Fi connection though, and we'll be coming through without any buffering or disruption. But
we had some real sys connection poor right now. I'm getting warnings on that, which is kind of odd.
Oh, Megan says I can hear you fine, so it might be you, Papa Keith.
We missed Papa Keith here.
I know it.
Holy moly, what a goalie.
Speaking of goalies,
we got
Beast between the pipes.
Is that Beast or is that Rosie?
Beast.
Oh, it is. Okay, I'm sorry. I got to clean my glasses here. All right, hey, we're underway with Game 3 of the Midwinter Classic here in Omaha. And this one drubbed in by St. Peter's for the chase down by Boston Gas. Gas up the far wall, kept alive for a shot that's kicked down in front. Good play there by Jack Davis, helping out his defenseman. Now it's Ike chasing down. Plays it up the wall, and a good chip off the boards by Taz to get it out to center. Knocked away from Vinny. Loose at center. Here comes St. Peter's back the other way. Good little tangle to get around one, and then a shot sails out of play. And then we get a quick stoppage just 38 seconds into the first period.
Like it went off the crossbar. He was on top of the net.
Well, defensive zone face-off coming up. And a shift change on already for both teams. It'll be the newly minted center, Abram Keeney, out along with Paxton Schneider and Charlie Patera. Charlie's got it now. He'll sachet out the center, pushes it along now for the carry by Paxton. Paxton tried to yank one in front. He had Charlie crashing the net. Abram two. Clear around the wall, kept alive. Good play by Nandy. Charlie had it jostled off his stick. There's Nandy. That one hopped by him. It's a 2-on-1 chance for St. Peter's if they hurry. Watch the Mavericks close quickly. And they're able to snuff out that chance. As it's head-manned on for now, Paxton, who's got one man to beat. Paxton trying to knife his way in from the left wing. Gets in for a backhand shot and a good kick save. Here's Charlie now with some room. He goes high, and that one shrugged away by the goaltender. Puck loose. Side of the net. Abram in there jousting for it. Oh, he's crunched along the end wall. Charlie in there as well. Referee right there doesn't call the play. Here's a break back the other way, but good recovery by Fleming, who will send it back up ice. There's Will Fleming. Fleming stood up in the corner, and the puck will drift away for the play by St. Peter's. Back to the line, but only that far. Allers in the slot. Had it jostled off his stick, still able to steer it on goal. And the save made by the goaltender, and a face-off to come in the St. Peter's end. Early going, first period, 11:09 to go here in the opening stanza. And Allers out there along with Sturbs and Tremaine. It's Boss and Bear on the blue line. Up the boards, this one loose. St. Peter's fighting through the stick lift of Allers. And Bear a good shoulder along the wall to free that puck up. Lost it behind, but got it back. Plays it around the rim. There's Wyatt Tremaine. Good job to bump it through to the pinching defenseman. He's up with Stearns. 2-on-1 if they hurry. Here's Tremaine. Nice pass through. Oh, and couldn't collect it in time for the shot. Allers nearly made the steal. This one loose at the blue line, and it just squirts out to center. Allers pivoting, lays it off for Stearns. Now Stearns marching in. Stearns follows his blocked shot. It's held at the blue line by Allers. Now here's Tremaine with a chance. He's closed off. And St. Peter's with the numbers will clear it back out to center ice. Bears pass interrupted. St. Peter's speeds back on. Pass in traffic, rolls away. Lost to it first. And around the kick plate it goes. Back out to center ice. 3 minutes gone by here in the first period. No score. The Mavericks and St. Peter's from Missouri in Game 3 of this tournament between these two teams. Puck loose at center, foisted along by Bear, back into the zone. Portright will give chase now. As the play is reversed, here's T-Squared racing in, popped it in front, no one at home, but St. Peter's can't get it. T-Squared then tripped, and a penalty coming up. First power play of the game will go to the Junior Mavericks with 9:35 to go here in the first period. That's a pretty easy tripping call for even people who don't know how to referee a game.
T-Squared come out with guns blazing. His feet are moving. He must have had a Red Bull before he started this game.
Or tasty coffee. Jack out there. T-Squared will stay out there. Court right there as well. Face-off won by St. Peter's, but Fleming holds for a shot. Rebound in front, and this one trickles wide after Courtright got a couple of whacks at it. Here's Ike now. Ike held on to as he tried to walk down the wall. St. Peter's breaks it up, and this one brought back the other way. Fleming with that long reach, able to staunch the break-in. The puck will trickle deep, and T-Squared takes back over on this for the Junior Mavericks. He's bird-dogged the whole way. Sends it rink wide. Ike now chips it out to center ice. St. Peter's will play this one back in. 50 seconds to go now on this power play for the Junior Mavericks. Fire wagon line changes for both teams as it's sent ahead. Then he had it ricochet off his tape, but he'll follow it down the wall. Then crunched in the corner, but the loose puck taken over. Here's Taz. Taz cuts back against the grain. Abram there to spike it off his stick. Oh, he tried to get it in front. Had Vinny there. Instead, it goes back to Ike for a shot from the point. And that one tipped wide. Vinny collects the rebound. Ike back down the boards. Vinny in the corner. Closed off. Puck spiked to the wall. Held by Ike. Ike slides it across. Oh, he wanted Taz. But the pass got ricocheted behind. Here's Fleming pinching. Could not keep it alive in a shorthanded burst the other way for St. Peter's. Good back check by Abram. His man goes tumbling, but it's going to be a penalty against Abram. And we will play even up 4 aside for 3 seconds. Well, now it's only 1 second. A little slow on the clock. Before St. Peter's gets its first power play of the game. While we have this opportunity, folks, want to thank our sponsors, Nebraska Electric Power Sports. We have electric dirt bikes for all ages. Joe Jalen Tax Services, as well, Charleston Homes, voted #1 best of Omaha for 2025, and Cottonwood Salon Suite. Our thanks to them for their support of the Junior Mavericks this season. Allers out along with Patera in what is now a penalty kill for the Junior Mavericks. Back on the blue line, it's Nandy and Bear. Allers closed off at center as he tried to walk it through. Here's Bear now backpedaling. Good rink-wide feed for Nandy. Couldn't hang on cleanly. It's played back in. And St. Peter's will stoke it to the end wall. Allers will crank it around. Lost his edge on the play. It's kept alive at the blue line. Sent back the other way now. The defense will hold it in and backhand it down the boards. Nandy, just good job to take that one away. Nandy with it on the backhand, turns to the forehand. Sent it around the glass. Weird carom. Got it up the boards into the feet of Allers. That ricochets out to the high slot, and the shot is deflected away. Bear will hammer this one around the kick plate one more time. Here's Allers able to stash it to the feet of the defenseman.
Allers.
And all the way back down. 30 seconds to go on this St. Peter's power play, and Jack Davis dumping that one in. Patera still in the offensive zone, and offside is called. That's all right. We'll get a stoppage of play and a face-off in the neutral zone. 7:01 to go, first period. 26 seconds to go on that penalty to Abram Keeney. It's a scoreless game here at Moto McLean Ice Arena.
Not a bad job of killing that penalty so far. They've been in our zone, but preventing shots on goal. So, nonetheless, running time off that penalty clock.
Jack on the face-off. Shot comes through. Stick save made by Beast. Around to the wing it goes. There is Jack. And Jack will just chip this one out to center ice. St. Peter's big defenseman. Trying to wind things back up. Sends it right up the gut. His man didn't handle it cleanly. Banged back along by the Junior Mavericks. Cleared back in by St. Peter's. They can't really cleanly gain the zone, and the penalty now to Abram is over. We're back to 5-on-5 as Sherba comes charging in off the bench. Jack Davis there to poke it through traffic and all the way in. And the Junior Mavericks will finish off their shift change. Around the wall it comes. St. Peter's will play it back to the point. Ike holds for a shot. That got deflected away. Ike chases that loose puck down the boards. Wyatt Ike's got Sterling in front. That one got through. Here's Gass. Could not hold the far point. And so he will play it through center. Stolen away by St. Peter's. Ike on the back check, able to take it back. Gass bangs it off the boards to center. St. Peter's had it, lost it. Here's Allers moving back in. Sidesteps the check. Wanted Sturba instead. It goes on goal. And the save made. 5:51. Our time remaining in the first. No score. Allers will stay out there. T-squared and Courtright will join him. Bear is back on the blue line with Fleming. We're without Stoney this weekend. That's why Abram has been converted to center. And so we're playing with 5 defensemen this weekend. We've mentioned that a couple times, but it bears repeating if you didn't catch our broadcast yesterday. Here's Courtright. Good steal. He'll play it back to the point. Bear winds and fires. Oh, that hit T-squared in front, and he's hurt. Hobbling back to the bench. Bear can bring it. And that one got him in a bad spot. Bear back to taking his own zone. This pass batted down as Finney comes off the bench, and T-squared instead. Centering feed. Oh, good back check there by Allers. Kept it out of the hands of the crashing player from St. Peter. Muscled in by Fleming. The follow-up comes from Vinny. And Vinny will keep it alive before this one is flipped out to center. Gloved down by Bear. Good play in traffic. Bear still marching it on. Got off the backhand shot. Oh! And the rebound just chipped wide by Courtright, but nobody had heard the whistle sound, and it was offside for a stoppage of play now with 5 to go in the first period. Or did they think he had it covered up? I thought they were calling offside on that play.
I think they had it covered.
He must have been. It must have been just a quick whistle from the referee. So, Abram out there along with Vinny and Taz. No clear winner on the face-off. St. Peter's will bring it out. Good back check by Taz. With him charging back to deny a clean entry there. Ike now will chase it down. Took a big hit. Penalty coming up on the play. And it's going to be a roughing call against St. Peter's that will put them a man down for the second time in this game. Good job by Ike. No retaliation there. And I think the explanation from the referee was you got to keep the hands down.
Something that all these players really need to practice with. Well,
power play number 2 for the Junior Mavericks. Abram, Taz, and Benny will stay out there along with Ike and Mandy. Good face-off win by Abram. Held for Ike, now for Nanny. Wow. Dangerous pass, but he got it to Ike. Across! Wow! Backdoor he had Taz, and that one just dubbed. Played back up the wall. Good keep by Nanny. Dug out by Taz. Couldn't find a friendly stick, but Ike's got it now. Down low, there's Abram, the backhander, and that one snuffed out. Loose side of the net. Taz jousting away for it. But St. Peter's will take back, and out they come. Puck cleared back to the Omaha line. Ike backpedaling, then throwing it ahead. Missed for Paxson. This one settled down by St. Peter's. Good little battle going on along the wall here. And Ike is able to force it free for Charlie. Here's Patera. Moves around one. The
nice try, Charlie.
Still hang on for a face-off with 42 still to go in a power play. And now down to 3:57 to go in the first period. Still looking for our first goal of the game. Jack, Paxson, Charlie are out with the boss and Fleming. Jack cuts the face-off win to the wall. This one hops around the glass. St. Peter's has it. Good, nice poke. Good poke check there by Boston. Denies them any further real estate. And the loose puck now will trickle to the boards for Boston to chip it in. Couldn't find a friendly stick. St. Peter's has it. Banged ahead. St. Peter's able to get it through. One man defending, that's nice. The boss. He knocks it away, forcing a bad shot. Bouncing puck in on Beast. He's able to steer it aside. And Fleming will outlet this one for Paxson. Paxson keeping his feet moving. Busting in. Paxson shoots, and the save made. The puck goes into the netting over the glass.
What in the world?
As the penalty expires. And wow, Paxson did what he had to do. He kept the feet moving. The referee just didn't see any kind of hold. But yeah, that was... That looked like a warm embrace right there.
That did. Stick and arm completely around him. Jiminy Christmas.
Allers, Sturba, Tremaine now out there with Mandy and Bear. We're 5 aside. St. Peter's trying to get 2 fresh players out there. Referees, well, 1 fresh player anyway. What are we doing here, guys? There we go. All right. We finally get the 5 they want on the ice. Here's Bear. Quick shot right into the midsection of the goalie. They'll hang on.
Could be something to do with one door on the bench for this St. Peter's team.
I'm sure that was an eye-opener. This is a quirky rink from that standpoint.
A lot of these boys at this age are just jumping the boards.
Allers face-off win. Tremaine trying to fight it farther down the wall. Allers has it. Instead, he'll throw to an empty wing. St. Peter's has. Can't clear.
Nice
Great work there by Mandy. He got it to Sturba, who sends it down low. Now it's Tremaine. Reverse back around. Sturba, good job to settle the bouncing puck. Sturba's trying to pry it off the kick plate. He got upended. Puck played right side. Into his Mandy. Got it for Allers. Trying to dance around the defender. Hangs him up so that Nanny can play the puck. Now it's Allers again trying to pull it free from the pile.
Nice.
He's got it now. Here's Allers. Oh! 2 guys here, but couldn't find The right guy for
Andy.
that pass. Andy the pinch along the wall. Allers had his back. He holds on. Now walks in. Little dangle move. Wow! Trying to go top corner. And just missed as this one goes out of play. Holy smokes.
I was thinking as he was charging the net, you need to get that shot off. But he did one more dangle and got himself a better shooting lane.
Sometimes you make that one more dangle and you get poke checked, and somehow he was able to get through. Mommy.
Way to go, Kitty Softpaws.
2:18 to go now in the first period. Still looking for our first goal as Ike sends one through traffic. Pad saved by the goaltender. This one hawked by T-Squared. Good to see him back out there after getting shaken up. Taking a shot from Bear. Puck loose in front. And this one batted away from T-Squared as he went for the rebound. And out comes St. Peter's trying to move it into the offensive zone. T-Squared on the backhand. Breaks that play up. Boston will swipe it away. Loose in the slot. Here's Ike now. He lost it. And the shot from the point is ricocheted away. And away from things, a little battle going on between the boss and one of the players from St. Peter's. And we're going to take, we got a high stick. I saw a rough signal, too. So they taking one of each or just... No, it's a high sticking penalty against the player from St. Peter's.
And T-Squared still walking off that shot that he took from Bear earlier.
Whoa.
Doing some extra stretches and some
like he
leg lifts.
Might have taken it on the inside of the leg or something like that.
Right on the groin, maybe.
Out of Charlie horse. So, power play number 3 for the Junior Mavericks. As St. Peter's wins this faceoff and plays it around. Courtright gets to it first, helps it on back to the point. Boston, good shot! Broke off the glove of the goaltender. Mavericks get it back and play it up high. Here's Ike. Oh, he had T-Squared there, but T-Squared had his back turned. And so St. Peter's will take and play back in from the red line. Good play there. Around the wall it comes. Ike will try to get it up the boards. Abram was there. Centering feed. Nobody home but Boss. Boss will skate it out to center. Boston nice job up around one and lost his edge. Oh, he gets it alive. Watch Boss go, but finally just one too many St. Peter's players in his way. And the puck cleared out to center. Here's T-Squared being slashed at. Able to get by that play. Fires one, and it's saved made by the goaltender. Rebound played around the boards. Boss has it. He'll give it across to his defensive partner, Wyatt Ike. Ike had it knocked off his tape. Follows trying to keep it alive. Jack there as well. Puck loose around the boards. To his side, they battle for it. And here is Peter. Boy, the St. Peter's coach is really getting on the referees. Holy smokes. Pulled out of the corner by Vinny. Now here's Jack firing one, but that sails wide. Final 8 seconds to go on this power play for the Junior Mavericks. Boss a shot. Never got past the defenseman in front, and he'll clear it out to center ice and go back to 5-on-5. Final 10 seconds winking away, and here's Paz. Paz racing back in, trying to get off the shot. Will yank it back. Oh, it just skipped past Ike as the horn sounds. Spirited first play here at Moto McLean Ice Arena, but still no score after one.
The referees, that was a good call by the referee. I'm sorry. The coaches were getting really worked up about that, but they hit Ike from behind, and then Ike bounced off the boards and just fell on their own player. So it's something where it looked bad probably from their angle, but it was their player that initiated the entire contact, and it was all coincidental. So good job by the referees on that one.
Well, folks, again, we've got this opportunity. We want to thank our sponsors who have done so much to help us out this year. Nebraska Electric Power Sports. Experience the future of electric dirt bikes. We sell fun. That's Nebraska Electric Power Sports. Our thanks to Charleston Homes, providing the best home building experience in Omaha since 2007. Joe Tail and Tax Services. Vinny's Grandpa Joe. Getting ready for the busy season here as tax season is definitely underway. We thank him, and as well, our thanks to Cottonwood Salon Suite. And, it's the Peter family and aunts and uncles. We thank Aunt Jessie for her support of the Mavericks.
For sure. Thank you, everybody, for your support. The Beast making his way back to the crease. not overly challenged, but definitely a dangerous team to be left alone in the slot. So doing a good job of staying on his toes and getting a lot of help from his defense to clear the slot.
Junior Mavericks will start with Allers, Charlie, and Paxson. And it'll be Bear and Fleming back on the blue line. Face off one by St. Peter's. And this one backhanded in. Bear will give chase. Bear, a little nudge to himself off the wall. Got it up the boards for Paxson. Paxson for Allers. Ricocheted off of him. He settled it down so that Paxson could carry. St. Peter's takes it back, but Allers is there to bang it out. And Charlie collects this one here. Charlie gains the red. He stood up at the blue line. Moses stand down to get that puck deep. Now Paxson's got it. Wanted to send it in front. He had Allers in some room, but just fanned on his passing attempt. Mavericks jam it up along the wall. Good work there. Here's Paxson. Sending it toward the cage, but wide. Allers will give chase to the corner. Angle back to the point. Bear trying to spike it back along. Intercepted by St. Peter's, and they will clear this one back down. They're calling for icing, but this one I don't think is going to have the juice to get there, and so Fleming's got to play it. Well, Fleming winding things up. Fleming sidestepped one check, kind of jumped off of that. Here's St. Peter's. Their pass broken up, and it's Sturbs who will angle it back in. Skipped off the defenseman. Charlie in applying the pressure. Abrams got it now for Charlie out of the corner.
Nice reverse
man down again.
Charlie again.
Penalty coming up on the play, and it's going to be against Charlie for a cross-check.
Yeah, these boys have a tendency to just keep their hands up to protect themselves, and elbows and hands come up, and that's when it's a penalty. It's elbows tucked, leading with your shoulders and hips is what's the clean hit.
And most of the time Charlie can do that, but that's the one player on that St. Peter's team who matches him in size. That's their biggest guy. And Charlie just got it up a little too high, so it's a power play for St. Peter's. I believe this is their third man advantage of the game.
I think you're right.
Face-off win by Omaha. Around for Wyatt Tremaine.
There we go.
Good job to get past the defense. He's 1-on-5. So Wyatt's just trying to kill time.
Taking the shoulders just fine.
And a good job by Wyatt Tremaine, who's now back-checking as St. Peter's brings it ahead. They'll dump in from the red line. And Nandy will give chase. Nandy the stick lift. He possesses the puck and plays it up the wall. There is Abram for the soft play out to center ice to make sure he doesn't get the icing call. St. Peter's will regroup. They try to bring it in. Do so without possession. There is Ike back at the blue line. This one held for a dub shot that's spiked down by Abram. And a good job again by Tremaine to just chip this one back into the St. Peter's end. They'll try it back up the far wing boards. Ike had it for a moment but lost it. The St. Peter's players got tangled up with one another. Ike's got it. He'll send rink wide for Nandy. He goes back for Ike. And Mavericks doing a good job until this one flagged down at the blue line by St. Peter's.
Nice job, Keeney.
Given right back up, and Nandy will find some room to skate it up with 20 seconds to go in the kill. He's shorthanded. Here's Nandy now moving in. He had a goal in last night's game. Nandy takes the crunch in the corner. Tremaine had his back, trying to keep it alive and give Nandy a chance to get back into position. Big pile up right along the boards. And this one finally squibs out. Nandy banging it back along into the feet of the referee. Still no clear possession for either team. And finally this one hoisted in by St. Peter's as we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. 10 minutes to go, second period. And a good outlet there. From one Wyatt to the other, Ike got it to Tremaine. Rolled off his stick. The follow-up from Nandy. Trying to get that one deep. That thwarted. St. Peter's will give it back up at center. And here comes Wyatt Ike. Ike bustling down the right wing. Holding on as the Mavericks change behind him. He's just waiting for the reinforcements to come. St. Peter's able to take it back, and they'll get it out to center ice. Boston, the last man back. He's run over.
Headlong in with a board.
And we've got all kinds of stuff happening there. Looked like a fairly clean check on Boston, but for the fact that he was right there along the wall and went tumbling into the boards. And then I believe there was a retaliation there. And they're going to take one of each. Well, the coach is really getting heated now for St. Peter's. Yeah, they're going to take one each, so we'll play even up still. 9:25 to go here in the second period. Goals have been hard to come by in this three-game series between these two teams. Both teams have gotten terrific goaltending.
Honestly, shots on goal here since we started the second period. I'm not tracking too many of them. Clear shots on goal.
Yeah, I agree. So Jack is out along with T-Squared and Courtright. On the blue line is Fleming and Bear. Bear able to knock that one away. Here's Jack now. Jack gave it up. Thrown toward the net. Bear cut it off. T-Squared breaking up ice, but Bear's going to elect to carry it. Bear across the line, moving in, forced into a bad passing or shooting angle. Here's a giveaway right in front, and Courtright got a whack at it, but that one tipped away to the corner. Taken back by T-Squared. Tried to walk out, couldn't. Jack will whistle one just wide of that far post. Good pinch by Fleming, trying to keep it alive. St. Peter's has it. This one wedged off the wall. Jack did a good job to cover for his defenseman. And we've got a stoppage of play and another penalty coming up. And, yeah, check from behind is going to be the call, and it's going to go against T-Squared. So a power play now for St. Peter's with 8:55 to go in the second period. So on the penalty kill, it'll be, let's see, Allers, Nandy, Ike.
Uh-oh.
And
giving him a major.
Vinny. Yeah. So the Junior Mavericks are going to lose somebody because of the major here. Vinny a good job to chip this one out to center ice. St. Peter's gets it back. The step up by Nandy forces the dump in. Ike will take over now. Ike bird dog the whole way. Able to hold off the man from St. Peter's and clear it out to center ice. Recoiling at center. St. Peter's bringing it back in. They go around Allers. Brought in for a shot. Saved by Deese. Rebound moves in front, and that one thrown wide. Minute to go in the power play for St. Peter's. Played down low. Broken up by Nandy. St. Peter's gets it again. Vinny, the fly in the ointment there as they can't make a play out of the corner. Vinny will backhand it up. That one blocked down. Thrown toward the net, and Beast saw that one all the way, able to steer it aside. Now here's Nandy with it on his forehand. Got it through. And St. Peter's will get chased back into its own zone as Allers is there, trying to force the issue. Forced into a bad pass is St. Peter's. They've got 30 seconds more to go on their power play. Here's Vinny. Couldn't clear it out. It's sent rink wide. And Ike will play this lob just out to center ice. Tossed back in for an offside call, and that will idle the clock with 7:43 to go in the second. And 18 more seconds to go on that penalty that was given out to T-Squared and is being served by Sturba.
Houston getting challenged a little bit more on this power play by the St. Peter's offense.
The threats have not been great, but when they've had them, they have been some good ones. Bear able to spike it away. Still controlled by St. Peter's. Good poke check there by Fleming. He scored it as he wanted to play it around. This one dished in front. Centering pass knocked away, and Paxton will clear
nice
pass
clear.
as we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Here is Charlie racing in. Charlie bumps behind the net. Wanted Paxton. He'll have to get chase. Another penalty coming up on the play. And this one's going to go against St. Peter's as Bear lets one go, and that one waffle boarded away by the St. Peter's goaltender. And we're splitting duty on the net minding. So Rosie now will come in, and Beast will head to the bench after a terrific set to start.
Patera, nice. It looked like some friendly conversation going on with the big 63 from St. Peter's right before he went to the box, I think.
Well, St. Peter's now sends a man to the penalty box, and it's a power play for the Mavericks as Abram leans in for the faceoff. He's out along with Paxton, Charlie, Fleming, and Bear. So the big shots back on the blue line. Face-off win. Paxton will help it across to Fleming. Fleming marches in and shoots one. And the save made by the goaltender. He's done a good job of tracking shots this weekend through traffic. And the Mavericks really need to find a way to take away his eyes.
Yeah. There's a barrage of shots in the last 2 games, and he's done a great job. If you look at his save percentage, with the amount of shots he's taken, he's really saved a lot of shots.
Face-off win by Abram again. Boy, you wouldn't know he's not a center by trade. He's done a terrific job at the pivot this weekend. Here's Abram bringing it in. Takes the shot, deflected away to the high glass. Charlie first on it. Charlie hanging on. He's covered by 2. Banged away from him. Bear holds and fires, and that one sizzles wide of the near post. Now back in front again. Jabbed at by Abram. Still loose in the feet of Paxson. And the loose puck finally squirts out. And the goaltender will scoop it up and stop the clock. With 56 to go on the power play now and 6.5 to go here in the second period. Still a scoreless tie here at Moto McLean Ice Arena in the third meeting of 3 between the Mavericks and this team from St. Peter's.
Half the game down. 0-0.
Jack, Sturbs, Wyatt Tremaine out there. Ike will take the shot from the point. Stick save. The goalie will cover. Ike and Nandy are back on the blue line.
I like the friendly atmosphere so far in this game. There's been some big hits still, but you can tell St. Peter's has made some adjustments.
Jack wins the faceoff. Thought about going back to his point, but that point was well covered. Jack now will tuck it back to Ike. Ike snaps it across. Nandy collects the deflected pass and shoots. Save made. Rebound loose in front. Stearns got a whack at it, but that one is turned aside and cleared back down. Here's Ike pivoting. Right off the gut. Dangerous pass, but it got through. And Wyatt Ike will carry it himself. Stearns turning to join him. Here's Ike moving in. Somebody's got to tell Ike he doesn't have to stick handle around everybody, as he was open for a shot, but elected to make one more move, and this play cleared out to center ice. Here's Ike again. Had it kicked off his stick, and that one squeezed through Sturba back to the Mavericks zone as we're back to 5-on-5. Good headman feed. Tipped in by Vinny. St. Peter's has it again. They'll clear. Man just off the bench collects this one. He walks it in down the left wing. Wrist shot sails wide of Beast. Andy next to hurry it up the wall. Too far for Wyatt Tremaine. And it's an icing call against the Junior Mavericks now with 5:15 to go in our middle period. Allers out along with Vinny and Taz, Boss, and Slumming are the rear guard. No clear winner on that faceoff, but Fleming will scoop up the loose puck. Plays to himself. Stands as he tried to make the pass up the wall. Has to recover as he's got 2 on it. And here's Vinny. Couldn't muscle it out. Laid back down low. Holler's trying to settle the bouncing puck. He will pick this one off the boards and back to the St. Peter's zone. They wave off any icing call that might have happened as Vinny charges in after it. Vinny swirls the net. He's got Taz in front. Could not get that pass through. And St. Peter's will nudge it out to center ice. Here comes St. Peter's. Rink-wide feed. Goes awry. Boss will drop it up the boards. Vinny trying to edge it out. Allers pitchforks this one to neutral ice.
Nasty hook there.
Thrown back in, and offside is called.
Saw the hook on Vinny as he was trying to get that puck out of the zone. I don't know if it was coincidental or not, but it was pretty blatant and right in front of the ref.
Now change up, and Abram, Jake, and Paxson along with Bear and Nandy. 4:27, our time remaining here in the second period. St. Peter's plays it. They're getting aggressive on their forecheck now. They have scored. Abram didn't get quite to the red line and sends this one down for an icing call. Sure, St. Peter's is saying, how can we generate some offense? We've got 1 goal
I think Abram was getting more bounce than he wanted off of that toe board because Jake was breaking out. If he could have got a softer angle on that, that could have caught Jacob in a nice breakaway opportunity one-on-one.
Guys practice here every Saturday, so they know the building somewhat. But it's hard to know every nuance. Here's Paxson. He's pressing the issue as he brings it in down the left wing. Gets a shot on goal, then goes crashing into the end boards. And the penalty coming up on the play. It'll be a cross-check, and St. Peter's will lose a man yet again.
That was the player that was hooking Vinny in the last shift, so that does not surprise me.
I've got to think that the coaches for the Junior Mavericks might spend some time working on that power play this week as they head to Des Moines next week. That's one thing that we should remind you of is next week, guys will be in Des Moines for games starting on Friday afternoon. I'll have a couple on Saturday, hopefully more on Sunday, in tournament at the West Des Moines Recplex. And, of course, we'll have all the games for you here on YouTube. Here's Bear moving in. Hard shot right to the midsection of the goaltender. Bear trying to send it through that 6-hole, trying to make a hole right in the goalie's chest. No sail there. This goaltender has played all 3 games. I think they've only got one goaltender, and he's done a marvelous job.
A lot of good from the shorthanded unit from the OMA Jr Mavericks this weekend, though.
Yeah.
2 or 3 shorthanded goals.
3 shorthanded goals yesterday. I'm not sure if we had any in the first game. We may have had one of those in the first game as well. Bear right up the gut to a turning court right. Now scooped up by Charlie. Charlie trying to move in. But that play broken up, and this one cleared out to center ice. Randy and Bear will hurry back with 1:05 still to go in the power play. Here's Bear. Bear sheds a check. Walks right down the slot. Took the shot and a bad save by the goaltender. Rebound loose. Bear trying to center it back in front. Bear's got it behind. Backhanding it there and hot by Jake. And comes to the wall for the clear out to center ice. And the net has gotten knocked off its moorings, and that brings play to a halt. With 45 still to go in the Omaha power play, and 3:18 to go here in the second period. And so the face-off, I believe, will be right at center ice. And out there for the Junior Mavericks. It looked like they were changing lines, and now it's Jack, court right, and Charlie. Face-off controlled by St. Peter's. Here's a wrist shot, and that one fought off by Rosie. I believe that's the first shot Rosie's faced here in this game since coming in midway for his battery mate, Beast. Here's Ike now, bringing it ahead. Ike, shouldered off, able to get the puck back. He'll yank it to the end wall. Charlie will charge in after this one. Jake looking to station, find a soft spot in front of the net. Charlie walks it out, couldn't pull the trigger, now does in tight. And the goaltender just holding his ground and knocking that one away. Side of the net. This one, jousted goal right in front. There's Jake, a chance, rebound chance, and the goalie able to make 2-point blank saves. Up to the point, Ike pinches to keep it alive. And now here's Jake trying to send it in front to Charlie. That play broken up. Ike does a good job to hustle back and sling this one to the end boards. St. Peter's will take it again. Good job by Charlie to knock down that pass. They'll have to try the near side, and this one goes off of Boston all the way down. They wave off the icing, and so the clock continues to move with 2:05 to go here in the second period. Nudged ahead by Jack, got it out to center. Thrown back in, and St. Peter's offside. And once more, the clock will stop. No score through almost 2 periods of hockey here at Moto McLean Ice Arena. And shift change on for the Junior Mavericks. Allers, Tremaine, Sturba, Nandy, and Fleming. And the Mavericks win the draw. There's Tremaine. He will wrist it in. Sturbs charging in to the corner for this. Sturbs has it. Sizing up his options. Gets it up high. Here's Fleming. Snaps one all on goal. Good pad save of the goaltender. And the rebound chipped out. And Fleming will have to hustle back ahead of the 2 on-rushing St. Peter's players. They try to cut him off. He'll get it out to center ice. Too far for Sturbs. Sturbs, though, blocks away a pass. Tremaine in forechecking. He and Sturba trying to hold it right there at the blue line. Sturbs goes down, and St. Peter's able to wiggle out with it. Way back into the Omaha zone. There is Fleming for Allers. He'll tip it ahead. Couldn't flag down the puck at center ice. And the Mavericks have to hurry back. St. Peter's has the numbers. Long range wrister, and that one wide of Rosie. And a stoppage of play, and we've got a roughing call coming up. And Junior Mavericks are going to lose a man, I believe. And the penalty is going to be against Fleming.
I didn't see it.
I didn't either. So 63 seconds remaining here in the second period, and the Junior Mavericks just want to get to the break. Killing a penalty again. I think the referees have called this one pretty tightly today. And
just about to say the same thing.
Yeah, probably bodes well in this, the third game of three. It's a deflected shot off the face-off wing. St. Peter sees that one go wide, and then this back pass splits the defense and comes to center ice. And Peters chucks it in. This one goes off of Abrams for a room service bounce that's knocked away off the shot from the slot.
Nice clear.
Cleared back down. St. Peter's will chase after it. Vinny is the lone forechecker as the Mavericks killing off the penalty. Now it's Abrams picking up his man. Bangs the puck away. Play by Ike. Knocked it further along. They're cleared back into the Junior Mavericks end now as Bear will send it ahead, and a good tip by Abrams sends this one back into the St. Peter's end once more as we're under 20 seconds now to go here in the second period. Loose puck at center. Poked away from Abrams. 2-on-2. St. Peter's bringing it ahead. Shot on goal. Stick save Rosie. Blasted up the boards by Bear. This one ricochets off the defenseman. And a good job by Vinny to knock it away. We've only got a couple of seconds left. Vinny doesn't know that, and time runs out before he gets that shot on goal. Wow. We only got one clock in this building. There's a clock at one end. Unfortunately, it was at Vinny's back, and he had no idea how much time was left in the period. I think if he had one staring at him from just above that goal, he would have known and would have been able to pull the trigger. But good work there for the Junior Mavericks to get off.
And once again, another example of a big save from St. Peter's goaltender, taking a barrage of shots at every other shift. You know, Mavericks are breaking free and getting a flurry of shots on goal. And that goaltending is staying solid at the opponent's end of the ice.
Folks, thanks to our sponsors here for their support of the Junior Mavericks and our broadcasts throughout the season. Cottonwood Salon Suite, Charleston Homes. They have their own in-house warranty team to take care of homeowners after closing. That's Charleston Homes. Also, Joe Chalin Tax Services and Nebraska Electric Power Sports. We have electric dirt bikes for all ages, and we thank them all for their support this season. Well, we're down to one period. And for the Junior Mavericks, the first imperative is to kill off the remaining 27 seconds of Will Fleming's penalty and get back to 5-on-5.
And we've said it 100 times, Dave. The next goal is a big one.
Yeah, in this case, it sure is. Because the way they're playing this one, 1-0 may be that may be the only goal we get.
Now, we've seen games like this a lot. We've played a lot of friendlies against the Kansas City Scouts where the games can go either way.
Right.
We've lost one 5-2, turned around, beat them 5-1.
Right.
And letting your guard down for a moment can mean a lot at this age of hockey. At any level of hockey, tides can turn in a matter of less than a minute.
Especially with as well as both teams' goaltenders are playing. And in this case, the three goaltenders, 2 for the Junior Mavericks and 1 for St. Peter's. Loose puck at center ice. It'll be Peter and Keeney who start on the penalty kill up front. Nandy, who's got the puck now, and Gass are back on the blue line. Here's Vinny pivoting with this one. He'll toss it off the wall and in. They wave off the icing. 10 seconds to go on the Fleming penalty. Vinny, the lone man deep on the penalty kill. Here comes St. Peter's. They mishandle the puck. Vinny's got it, and they'll just stoke it back in as we're back to 5-on-5. Jake out there St. Peter's able to get through the forecheck and bring it out. Mavericks finishing off the shift change. Didn't get a real strong push on that dump in. And this one cleared off the stick of the defenseman back out to center. Jake and Taz in applying the pressure. Thrown past Taz and out to center. Mandy will pivot with it there in his own zone. Then he lost it. Woo! And the St. Peter's player lost it. And Taz will take over. Clear it. The bigger player wearing him out.
Hands again.
Mandy up the boards. There is Taz. Chips it past the big defenseman for St. Peter's. Got it out. Tucked back in. And it's Nandy who will take over. Puts on the brakes and changes direction, but steps into a forecheck. Played it around the kick plate. Taz doing his best against players about twice his size. Nandy, dangerous play in front, and Boston's got to swipe that away to the corner. Nandy will bang this one off the stick of the defenseman yet again, and out to center, and here's Jake, trying to break through, 1-on-2. Had it knocked off his tape. He'll get it and float it in. Gloved out of the air by St. Peter's and cleared out to center ice. Junior Mavericks changing on the fly, so too St. Peter's, tipped in by Charlie. Charlie trying to muscle it down the wall. Charlie's got it now. He'll pull the trigger on the shot, but that one blocked away. Fleming holds this one, bounces it to the corner. Out over Jack's stick. Now it's Paxson. In front, there's Charlie. Trying to pull the trigger on the shot and couldn't do it. Jack will turn and fire. Save made by the goaltender. Paxson will flick that puck up the wall. Good pinch by Bear. Bear marching in with it. He'll circle the net, trying to wrap around, and that one through the crease and wide. Here's St. Peter's, able to get it out. Jack there to play it back in. St. Peter's now on the recoil effort. Under 10.5 to go, third period. Scoreless game at Modo. Charlie took the bump, able to work it in. Charlie marching in to the forehand to the backhand. Elects not to take the shot. He's got Paxson waiting in front. Holler's there as well. Here's Paxson. He'll fire. And the save made by the goaltender.
Woo! Needing to get those shots and passes off a little bit quicker there.
You got to play with your head up and look for help. Paxson took that last shot. He had Allers down low, but I don't think it was a clean passing lane. I don't think he wanted to risk not getting his shot off. So he took it, and the goaltender made yet another good save. Beat by Ike at the point down the wall. It's Sturbs, Allers, and Tremaine out there now for the Junior Mavericks. Sturbs has it, turns and fires, and that one's steered behind the net. Here's Tremaine. He'll reverse it back around to the near wing corner. Sturbs in to joust for that. Allers has this one. He'll step out. Allers with it on the backhand. Score! Allers with the backhand, and they've been tipped on the way through, but that one fools the goaltender. And the Junior Mavericks finally forge ahead. It is 1-0.
I'm going to say Sturba got the assist on that one.
Yeah. Did the work in the corner to free it up for Will. And with 9:46 to go here in the third period, the Junior Mavericks have the lead.
Next goal's a big one.
Yeah. Now it's time to play some defense and try to get another one. Abram.
That was first goal of the season.
Second goal. Yep.
There we go.
He had a shorty when we were in Colorado. Here is Ike back on this one. Lots of pressure. Dangerous pass right through the gut, but he got it to Abram, who brought it out. Stolen away and brought back in by St. Peter's for a shot right into the midsection of Rosie, who hangs on. 9:20. Our time to go now in the third period. Think of it is now, you can't get too pleased with yourself. You got to keep pushing now and try to get some more on the board.
Never letting off the gas in this game.
Abram stays out there. St. Peter's wins, but Abram blocks it away. Abram has really been just a marvelous experiment here at center. He's a defenseman, but he's got some skills as a center.
For sure.
Here's Nandy able to backhand it in. He will give chase himself. Nandy leaned on, and the puck forced free. Dished up to the point. Vinny covering for his defenseman, able to just spike it back down. St. Peter's Jabbed around, near side. Good pinch by Nandy. Here's Vinny now along the end wall. He had Taz. Instead of wants to go high, but a hard pass skipped away from Nandy and comes back to the Maverick zone. Franked back up the wall by Bear. Here's Abram protecting the puck. He comes with Vinny. Abram with a shot, blocked away, and the ricochet is worked to the blue line, but not out. It's good play by T-Square to send that one down low. Clock continuing to move as we are now at 8.25 minutes to go here in the third period. Bear backpedaling, lost the handle on the puck. He's got to recover and will take over now. Tucking that one along, he wanted court right. That play broken up. Bear then breaks up the play by St. Peter's, and a good job by Jake to chip that one out to center. He's got T-Squared with him as he brings it in. Gets it to T-Squared. He pulls up, got the shot, and that one's just wide. Rebound played around the boards and all the way back down. Fleming will charge after this one. They wave off the icing, and so the clock continues to move. If you're the Junior Mavericks, that's what you want. Here's Fleming. Good outlet on for T-Squared. T-Squared's got Ike with him as he brings it ahead. He took the hit but delivers in, and here comes Ike on the forecheck. Wyatt Ike swirling around, got bumped. Here's T-Squared, able to dangle through traffic, threw it down low, wanted court right there, but the play broken up. Held by Ike at the point, shovel toward the cage, oh, there was court right. T-Squared gets a whack at it, but that one goes wide. And St. Peter's will try to go the other way with it. This one will make the goal line and be an icing call. 7:09 now to go here in the third period. 1-0.
Neither
Mavericks
team
with the lead.
taking their foot off the gas at this point.
No.
St. Peter's still playing like it's 0-0. Kudos to this opponent, and way to go, Omaha Mavericks, for continuing to keep their heads up, because it's that physicality is a big role. We saw it at the end of every single game, and it's starting to show again.
Well, and sometimes you got to take a hit to make a play. Here's Allers with it. He throws it to the empty wing. Fleming steps in. Oh, and he hits Sally right in the back up the tail. We've been our own worst enemy as far as hurting our own players. St. Peter's will get to the red line and throw it in deep. Wyatt Ike to it first along the end wall, poked away from him. Fleming takes over. Kudos to Charlie for shaking that one off. That was right between his shoulder blades. Yikes. Ike up the left wing, finds Paxson. He'll clear it out. He got past the defenseman, and here's Charlie with it now. Charlie will bear in from a sharp angle, trying to go high to the corner, and that one off the post and out of play. And once more, the clock stops with 6:29 now to go here in the third period.
Charlie, tough boy, shrugging that one off. Holy smokes. Will's got a heck of a shot on him.
I'm just watching that, it hurts me. Abram, Sturbs, and Wyatt Tremaine. Boston Gas gets the face-off win. He'll wrist one through traffic. And a good waffle save made by the goaltender. Rebound tucked behind the net. There was Sturbs. Took the hit. Tried to reverse it. Around it comes, and this one flipped off the stick of Nandy back out to center. Nandy, good job to put on the brakes. Now we'll finish wide.
Caught an edge.
Sturbs caught an edge there, but he's brought ahead by Abram. Abram had it knocked off his tape, and this one cleared out to center ice. Stepping up was Boss, but he couldn't get the puck. Thrown on goal, the save by Rosie, and he will squeeze it.
I heard some teasing going on from the coach on Sturb as he caught an edge right there trying to get into the zone.
Oh, that's a tough one. Jack, Taz, and Vinny out with Boss and Nandy. Boss has it. Sends it up the boards. Taz couldn't collect it cleanly. It's sent back down low. Oh, loose right at the side of the net. And Boss there in the nick of time. Here's Vinny now. Tips it past the defense. Charging to join him is Taz. Vinny couldn't pull the trigger on the shot as he got caught from behind. Taz keeps it alive, though, and Vinny will swirl with it again. Trying to get it out in front. Taz is there. He lost the stick. That got hacked out of his hands. And St. Peter's will get it. They whip on the clearing attempt. And it's Jack in applying the pressure. Vinny comes in to help out. Puck freed up. And here's Jack. Jack muscling it up the wall. Across. Taz pulls the trigger. That one blocked away. Vinny gets a whack at it, and that one steered aside. Around the kick plate. St. Peter's will send it. There's Boss. He had trouble with it. Chip Hampton. Nandy's got to hustle back. Boss getting back into position, sends his man tumbling, and that was a clean check, and we're going to get a penalty against the Junior Mavericks for that one. As Boston gets a man in his kitchen, that guy should go. Man, that was a clean hit.
That did look like a clean hit. He caught up to him and shoulder to shoulder. What in the world?
We'll see how they meet out these penalties here. Does St. Peter's? Yeah, St. Peter's is going to lose his man as well for the retaliation, so we'll stay even up. But oh man, I thought Boss did a great job to get back into position and bump his player off the puck. So 5:01 is the time remaining here in the third period. The only goal in this game scored by Will Allers earlier in this period, after we played scoreless through 26 minutes and more.
These last 5 minutes of every one of these games, got to take a deep breath, keep your head on your shoulders, and focus on the game of hockey and not the retaliatory physical play of the sport.
Oh, and there's that old sports cliche about it's hard to beat the same team 3 times in a row, and Junior Mavericks trying to do that against this very game St. Peter's team. And a timeout has been called. Timeout has been called by which team? Not really sure.
I thought it was St. Peter's.
St. Peter's did call the timeout. And so...
Sturba's.
Yeah, Sturba's limping a little bit there. I wonder if when he fell there at the blue line, he twisted an ankle or something like that. He seems to be walking it off a little bit. That would not be good.
Mavericks, a lot of self-induced pain on this game here. Taking shots from their own players. Coincidental loss of edges there. It's been a rough game for these Mavs.
A lot of ice bags after this one.
It's good to see T-Squared out there being agile on his blades after taking a hard shot from Bear right to the groin earlier on.
Jack Davis with the... You look at a guy as big as Jack Davis, you wouldn't think he could screech that loud. But,
one of my favorite war cries. I shared it on one of our previous seasons when it echoed through a rink, and I was able to extract that short video and share it. Boy, I love that war cry.
Well, so the Mavericks have 4 out there. There's only 1 penalty up on the board. So did Boss might have gotten 2 penalties. He might have gotten the initial penalty on the check plus the roughing with the player who came in. So the referees were bound to determine to put St. Peter's on a power play, apparently, in what we thought was a pretty darn clean check. So it's power play time for St. Peter's as that seeing eye shot slithered through the crease and wide. Back to the point they play it. That one blocked down. Here's Charlie breaking free shorthanded. Charlie caught from behind, but the big defenseman still kept it alive, but finally grabbed back, and St. Peter's will break it out. On they come. Heike stepping in, able to deflect that shot out of play. And so a face-off to come in the Junior Mavericks end with 1:05 still to go on the power play for listed as the home visiting team, but wearing the white jerseys. Allers comes out along with Paxson. Bear and Ike on the blue line. Ike will nudge it around to the far wing. Kept alive by St. Peter's. Bear got his stick caught in the door down below there. As this puck is worked up high, their defenseman mishandles. Puck doesn't make it out. And it's chipped back in down low. Squirts through traffic. Here's Ike trying to get it up the boards. It eludes Allers and comes back to the point. The defense plays pass, and Paxton does a good job at that to pass away and out to center ice. St. Peter's clears the zone, and back they come with it. Handed on back to the point. Shot goes way wide. Pitching defenseman trying to keep this one alive, but Bear will take that one and tuck it back down into the zone. Now with 20 to go on the penalty kill for the Junior Mavericks. Here comes St. Peter's. Putting into the zone cleanly. Cleared out. Allers chips it up the boards. Sent back along by St. Peter's, but an errant pass goes to Paxson. Here is Ike now flipping it ahead, and this one comes out to center once more. Final nickel's worth of power play time winking away for St. Peter's, and we are back to 5-on-5. Take a breath as St. Peter's brings it back in. Quick trigger pull there, and that one got the glass. May have been deflected. Centering pass broken up. Back to the point it comes, but it's blocked away before it gets through to Rosie. And Ike will get it out to center ice. Wyatt Ike moving it up. 3-on-1. Ike has it on the backhand, yanked it to the slot. He wanted to get T-Squared, who was charging in to join, but that play broken up as the Mavericks clear the zone. Abram had made the steal at center, and the Junior Mavericks able to rehandle now. Bear, rake wide, his pass knocked down, sent back toward the cage, and that one goes through the crease and wide. Up near wall it comes. It's Abram trying to gain the red line. He does and backhands it in. Clock continuing to hit the smaller numbers with 2:40 now to go here in the third period. Puck out at center. Mandy collects this one. Rake wide for his deep partner, Will Fleming. Fleming nudges it ahead. He able to push this one even farther in. Played around behind. T-Squared on it first for the Junior Mavericks. He'll hand it on back. Here's Mandy across. Fleming at the point. The shot. Oh, by T-Squared, but over the cage. Boardwright gets it back. Mandy knocks it down and sends toward the goal. But that one hit a stick that's been apparently jettisoned and lost on the ice. Mavericks able to keep this one alive. Boardwright drugs it around the kick plate, and this one comes out to center where Mandy's got to recollect and have his pass blocked away. Here comes St. Peter's, weak shot.
What?
And that one taken over by Fleming and hoisted out to center ice. T-Squared had it in his feet, didn't know it. St. Peter's trying to break back in. Abram a good bit of back checking to thwart that as the puck is floated back in. Here is Fleming retaking now for the Junior Mavericks. Fleming right up the gut, finds T-Squared. He puts on the Jets. T-Squared trying to cut in. He does to the forehand. Oh, great save of the goaltender in tight. It's Sturbs now trying to keep it alive. He sidesteps a big crunching check. And it's work free now out of the pile. Here's T-Squared. Oh, he's got Fleming sneaking in. T-Squared with it. He'll chip it in front. And this one hollered back by St. Peter's with a minute and a quarter to go here in the third period. Cleared all the way down. It'll be an icing call against St. Peter's with 1:06 to go now in the third period and a face-off back in their zone.
Good to see Sturba back on the ice there after doing some walking off in between shifts. He's out there getting in the mix and putting on some hits.
Well, the hitting has been, and this is Steve Moresh described it to me before the game as big boy hockey, and it has been this weekend. Jack out along with Taz and Tremaine and Ike and Bear backing them up on the blue line. Face off won by St. Peter's, but not cleared. Good keep by Ike right at the stripe. Bear in on the forecheck. Trying to shuffleboard that one along to Taz, broken up. Tremaine comes across and is able to block down the clearing attempt. Jack holding tight to the wall, but St. Peter's able to float it out. Now the Mavericks have to charge back. They're the only one there. Drop pass. Shot comes through and just missed of that near post. Down low. Goalie's out. We're playing 6-on-5. They've got an empty net, the Mavericks do, facing them at the other end. As St. Peter's sends it across the crease, 1:30 now to go here in regulation time. Played in front. Play broken up by Jack. Swung at by Taz, but not cleared. This one held. Shot never got through. Back at the point again. Another shot. That one deflected away. Ike will play it around the kick plate. And Tremaine will make no mistake about it, getting it back into the St. Peter's end. The clock winking down. Just 5 to go. Maybe time for one more push. As play is broken up at center. Here comes St. Peter's. They don't get off the shot. With 0.2 seconds to go, they're going to call a penalty. It'll be a tripping call against the Junior Mavericks, and officially one more power play for St. Peter's. And now they just run down the clock to keep things on time. And it's a sweep for the Junior Mavericks this weekend against a very dogged St. Peter's team. 1-0 is the final this morning here at Moto McLean Ice Arena.
Another goose egg for Rosie and the Beast. Sharing their third game.
The funny thing about this time clock is it stops at like 0.01 or 0.02. And so even if the clock is still running, it won't make a sound and the clock will just stop. So So I think it had expired.
Oh.
And it just froze.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, there you go. Well, hard-fought games between these two teams all weekend, and really a good series. It's too bad that it worked out for these two teams that they had to play each other 3 times instead of this being a true tournament where you're facing different teams in round-robin play. But well done by both clubs, and certainly for the Junior Mavericks, one to build on as they go into what should be a pretty tough tournament next weekend in Des Moines.
I agree. This is going to be a real test of competitive play for what we're going to see in Des Moines. So heads up hockey is what I'd call it, right? Lots of competitive contact and lots of checking going on. First year checking for a lot of these kids, and definitely one that's an eye opener. So kudos to goaltending on both ends of the ice. St. Peter's has got to be proud of their goaltending and their level of play that they competed against the Omaha Mavericks. This was a shooting barrage for the Mavericks. Definitely outmatched the offense on the offensive favor for the Omaha Mavericks here, but nonetheless didn't run the score up.
No.
Barrage of shots slowed down by clearing rebound opportunities from the St. Peter's defense and some great goaltending there. So Omaha putting the pressure on and nonetheless not running away with big double-digit victories by any means.
No, real impressed by the goaltending. They got young man, his last name is Fry, and he did a terrific job all weekend, going the distance in all 3 games. Want to kind of correct myself here. I mentioned one of the teams we were playing next week in Des Moines was a Des Moines team. That's not the case. Here's the schedule for next week for those of you who will be joining Matt and Chase on our broadcast. Next Friday, we've got a 4 p.m. Central Time game against Sioux Falls. Then on Saturday, that's the name North weighing in on that. That's not me booing. And then on Saturday, January 24th at 9:30 Central Time, the Junior Mavericks will play what should be a very tough team from Owatonna, Minnesota. And then at 2:45 that afternoon Central Time, that'll be against the team from Ames, Iowa, the Ames Flyers. So 3 really tough games that they will be facing next week. And then on Sunday, there will be more action, hopefully, for the Junior Mavericks after pool play is done. So Matt and Chase will be there to bring you all of that action here on our YouTube channel. And before we sign off this morning, I want to give one more shout out to our sponsors, Nebraska Electric Power Sports. We sell fun. Also to Joe Chalin Tax Services. Thank you, Grandpa Joe. Charleston Homes, providing the best home building experience in Omaha since 2007. And a Cottonwood Salon Suite for keeping the boys well coiffed during the course of the season. Aunt Jessie does a terrific job. So thank you to all of our sponsors here for being with us on our broadcasts this weekend. It's
Thank you.
It's officially a win in the Midwinter Classic. They're more like friendlies here the way things went this weekend, and this is. I think both teams will have something to build on. It's feeling a little empty, I'm sure, for the folks from St. Peter's right now, but their team played real well, and certainly nothing to hang their heads about after these 3 games here in Omaha this weekend.
Thank you to the refereeing, too. The middle game got a little bit more carried away than we have wanted it to, but this game, I think, got reeled in, and I think kudos to the coaches for having those connections and talk with each other and each other's teams to make sure that tempers and any sort of aggressions were calmed down before entering this game. That could have gotten ugly if it just continued to fester at the end of Game 2 and boiled into Game 3. So thank you, everybody, for your support, and thank you for watching, and looking forward to see you next weekend in friendly Des Moines.